What's in store for the future office space? Well, it's rather interesting because this whole COVID-19 thing really upset everything. From restaurants to hotels, offices, homeowners, and it's unbelievable what it's done. But I seen a report today on Bloomberg, and they were talking about office space. And in that report, they're saying that some of the leases that have been put together on office space have typically were agreements that were in place before pre-COVID-19. And typically these are some larger facilities. This was a property manager that I can't remember which large city they were in, but that they were the ones given the data and the information on this. But that's what they're saying, that all these office space leases were pre-COVID-19, and now they've come back to the table and actually have put some of those deals together. But it's the percentage has been very, very small. One of the things that they're saying that they're seeing is that the office space, as far as the amount of square footage, were more than likely is going to be reduced, because what these companies are doing is that because of COVID-19, when everybody went to work at home, that's going to probably continue. Meaning that their actual office space that they need for people that were going to come into the office is going to be reduced greatly, which really makes sense. So with that in mind, us as commercial cleaning business owners, you want to think about that. How is this going to impact you? So you may have smaller accounts, per square foot accounts, or you're still gonna have large accounts. You're still gonna have small, medium, and large accounts. But what are those numbers actually going to look like? Are you going to still have 100,000 square foot facility? Well, maybe not, depending on what these companies do as far as reducing their workforce that actually come into the office. So when you think about that, and because of the social distancing, that's the one thing that's really going to reduce the space that they're going to use. Because if we have to maintain 6 feet distance, well, that means that we can't have people working in these cubicles that are so compact. So that's greatly going to impact the amount of people that are coming into the office. Now, some of these companies too will probably put on second shifts, maybe, so they can alternate people. So that could happen. But in either case, if we have a majority of the workers working from home and not coming into the office, that means that our square foot, our cleanable square foot, will no doubtly shrink. Now, something else you got to think about is when we're talking about restrooms, we're looking at the same thing there too, because the restrooms, the toilets are in stalls, and the urinals are one lined up right next to each other. So are the sinks. Well, in many cases, what companies are doing and facilities are doing is that they're actually blocking off every other urinal, every other sink, to maintain the social distancing. Well, now that also is going to impact us on what we may charge for the service, because obviously we're not cleaning as many fixtures anymore in these restrooms. So that's something to keep in mind, and when you're talking to a prospect about these things, ask them about that. What are their plans? Do you plan on alternating every other sink or every other stall or every other urinal to be used? And what does that really look like? Because again, it's going to affect your price that you're going to charge for that service. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention and give you something to think about. As things may return to they'll never be back to normal. I don't believe that. Because the COVID-19 has changed everything, and in some respect it's for the better, because so many people were not cleaning for health. They weren't cleaning and disinfecting, and now that's really brought that to light. But on the flip side, it really impacts businesses too. The restaurants and those types of areas, they lost a lot of revenue. I don't know how many of these companies are going to return, to reopen. But you know, the thing is that when you think about the restaurant industry, they employ by far more employees than the automotive and some of these other industries combined. I believe it's automotive and the airline industry. So, you know, that's quite amazing when you talk about that many people. But, you know, those are the things that we have to consider, because if we're cleaning an office, that's going to impact us. If we're cleaning a restaurant, that's going to impact us. And all areas, all sectors, because the same thing is true. It's going to be in educational. You know, are these schools going to return, are kids going to return to classes in the fall? Well, maybe, maybe not. You know, well, what changes are going to happen in there that's going to affect us as contractors? The same thing is true on the manufacturing side of things. You know, are they going to, some of them companies, as I said earlier, will change up their scheduling and have second shifts, third shifts, and so on and so forth to alternate people that are coming into the location. You know, that obviously will keep us busy as cleaning business contractors, cleaning contractors. But, you know, we have to look at that. We have to look at all sectors of the businesses that we have and how are those going to affect us in the future. We have to think about this now and position ourselves so we're in a good place. If not, you know, if we don't plan, boy, that's going to hurt us. So now's the time to plan and have an idea of what you're going to do. And I think the best thing to do is to talk to your clients. Find out, you know, ask them what are their plans as to how they're, you know, how many people are going to come back to work, how many people are going to work from home, you know, and how are they going to do their social distancing. That will help you actually put a plan together for the cleaning of the facility. And also, you know, obviously I think there's probably going to be some price adjustments. So that's what I think, that's what I would do if I was in that position. And you know, like I say, things it's a new norm, and we have to look at all these things and be prepared for them. But you know, it's rather interesting how things have shifted. You know, I'm kind of thinking that, okay, well, if a lot of these people that have been coming into these offices are now going to be working from home, does that give us an opportunity on the residential side? You know, sure, the residential side got hit really bad where everybody just stopped services, and a lot of those companies went out of business or lost 90% of their clients. That just, you know, they put them on hold, you know, until things turn around. Well, you know, I can kind of foresee that if that's the case, if we have all these office workers that are no longer going to be going into the office, working from home, well, doesn't that give us another opportunity now to service that residential home? Very well, it could be. So keep that in mind. You know, think about how you might structure that and how you might, you know, talk to a homeowner about, you know, coming in and cleaning their home and doing some sanitizing. You know, I think there's going to be some opportunities there. You know, especially as we see that the COVID-19 numbers continue to drop or you know, maintain or drop, and hopefully drop, you know, as long as people are doing the social distancing and wearing the mask and being smart. We'll probably see that. You know, but obviously in some of these states, you know, we're seeing rises, and it's just from people not being smart. But I do think there's going to be opportunities in the future. So, you know, put your finger on the pulse here and keep an eye on it, because there are going to be opportunities. So, you know, hopefully you found this helpful. I'm Steve Hansen, co-founder of the Janitorial Store.com and myhousecleaningbiz.com. Thanks for checking in today, and we'll see you next time.